Ukraine's 68th Jaeger Brigade released a video on June 14th, purporting to show its forces taking out an entire Russian tank company during fighting in the Pokrovsk direction in the east of the country. According to a post on Facebook, 8 Kremlin tanks and 8 infantry fighting vehicles, IFVs, were destroyed. Later on June 14th, in comments to Ukrinform, Nazar Voloshin, the spokesman for the Khortytsia grouping of forces, confirmed the brigade's claims. In the Pokrovsk axis, our defense forces destroyed 8 Russian tanks and put 2 more out of order. That's 10 in total. This makes up a tank company, he said. In addition, in this section of the front, during the said period, our defenders destroyed 8 more armored fighting vehicles, 2 artillery systems, and 4 other vehicles, 1 more damaged. Voloshin didn't specify when the engagement took place, but said 242 Russian troops were killed or wounded during fighting in the Pokrovsk direction. The video begins by showing drone footage of approaching Russian tanks, with the lead vehicle swiftly being taken out by an explosion. Artillery, cluster munitions, and drone-dropped bombs then attack the rest of the armored column. At one stage, a Russian tank speeding across a field drives directly into a crater. A drone then targets the Russian soldiers as they disembark. Our Ukrainian defenders did a good job yesterday and disposed of plenty of Russian hardware, and even more so Russian invaders along with their equipment, Voloshin said. Elsewhere, Ukrainian air defense shot down all of the 17 Shahed-type attack drones and 7 of the 14 missiles launched by Russia overnight on June 14th, Air Force Commander Mykola Oleshchuk said. Russia reportedly launched the drones from Yeysk in Russia's Krasnodar Krai and occupied Crimea, while the 10 Kol-101 Kh-555 cruise missiles were fired from 2 95 bomber planes over Russia's Saratov Oblast. Moscow's troops also launched 3 Iskander-M ballistic missiles from occupied Crimea and Russia's Krasnodar Krai, as well as 1 Kinzhal Koch-47M2 air-launched ballistic missile from Tambov region. Ukrainian forces have been able to stop Russia's summer Kharkiv offensive with the help of American weapons, according to a senior Ukrainian lawmaker, with U.S. arms used to target especially valuable systems, including advanced air defense platforms. We stopped the Russian offensive operation, Yehor Chernyev, a member of the Ukrainian parliament and the deputy head of its National Security, Defense and Intelligence Committee, told Newsweek on Thursday. We also destroyed some of their quite sophisticated and expensive air defense systems with the U.S. weapons. Chernyev, who is also the permanent head of Ukraine's delegation to the NATO Parliamentary Assembly, PA, added. It forced the Russians probably not to leave the territory near the border, but to transfer some troops and transfer some equipment, some weapons, into their deep rear. So, it helps us to protect our territory. Ukraine appears to have neutralized the threat of a Russian breakthrough in northeastern Kharkiv following Moscow's launch of its newest offensive operation there in May. Though the Kremlin's forces seized more than 65 square miles of new territory in Kharkiv, Russian units have reportedly suffered severe casualties, while being contained by Ukrainian reinforcements. A very significant result is that the Russian army failed, President Volodymyr Zelensky said of the offensive earlier this month. The direction is strengthened, and it will be strengthened more. Moscow's latest gambit also mobilized greater Western support for Kiev at a time when commitment and focus appeared to be lagging ahead of pivotal elections in Europe and the United States. As Ukraine's forces sought to contain the Russian drive, NATO leaders began greenlighting the use of their advanced weapons within Russian borders. The US was relatively slow to give its approval, but American weapons, among them the HIMARS, have already been credited with high-profile successes. At the start of June, for example, a HIMARS strike in Russia's Belgorod border region destroyed a Russian S-300-400 air defense battery. The Institute for the Study of War suggested earlier this month that the use of Western weapons within Russian borders will play a critical role in Ukraine's defense of its territory and future counteroffensive operations. The policy shift infuriated Moscow, prompting President Vladimir Putin to issue fresh threats against NATO nations. In Europe, especially in small countries, they should realize what they are playing with, the president said. They should remember that they are countries with small, densely populated territories. This is a factor they should keep in mind before talking about striking Russia.